As a real estate professional, I often see people attempting to sell homes by owner. And I get it. Nobody likes paying real estate commissions, and if you feel you can deliver the same result as an agent without cutting into your proceeds, why not at least try, right? The problem is far too many people underestimate what's really necessary to effectively sell a house for sale by owner. And unfortunately, statistics show that an overwhelming majority fail altogether and end up hiring an agent anyways. The reality is, as your own real estate agent, you have to think like one in order to get the job done, and to do so while also getting top dollar. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to accomplish that. What's good, everybody? My name is Parker Gray, and I'm your friendly neighborhood realtor straight out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And today I'm going to be sharing with you some essential for sale by owner tips to give you the best chance of getting your house sold. If you feel this is informative, please hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you can be the first to know about new informative real estate content. The first tip is to focus on photography. I know this may seem like common sense to some, but I am not exaggerating when I say that I routinely come across FSBO homes on Zillow that have pictures that look like they were taken on one of those Nokia flip phones from the early 2000s. Having bad pictures of a house is a grave mistake because that's in large part what gets people in the door to begin with. After all, great pictures show potential buyers the things they may love about the house prior to actually viewing, while poor photos distract shoppers from being able to focus on the features. Also, the vast majority of home buyers find homes online. In fact, well over 90% of all home buyers use the internet as a mechanism for finding homes, according to a 2019 study conducted by the National Association of Realtors. It is so integral to the selling process, in fact, that any good agent pays for professional photography as part of their marketing efforts. So if you are committed to selling for sale by owner, you'll want to consider doing the same, or at least use a higher quality cell phone camera to get good pictures of the home to advertise online. Speaking of the internet, the next tip is to pay to have your house listed on the multiple listing service, or MLS for short. If you're unfamiliar, this is the tool that agents use for originating listings before they go out to Zillow, Trulia, etc., but more importantly, where we set up property searches for our clients and look for listings that are on the market on our buyers' behalf in hopes of helping them find what they're looking for. But how do you get your house on the MLS without hiring an agent? By using what is known as a flat fee listing service. A flat fee listing service allows you to pay a company or individual with a real estate license to enter your listing info into your local MLS without actually representing you as a full service agent. Predictably, it's a lot cheaper than hiring a full service agent, but you do pay a nominal fee up front to do so, whatever that may be, indiscriminately of whether the house actually sells or not. Much like photography though, it is well worth the cost if you are committed to selling by owner, since listings often sell by a buyer's agent or their client simply seeing a listing on the MLS that fits their criteria, viewing it, and subsequently making an offer. Some companies may even provide a sign and or lockbox depending on what you pay for. So I'd recommend doing a Google search to find a company that services your area and see what kind of rates they charge. Now look, I know you're probably annoyed that my first couple tips require spending a little bit of money, but don't worry, there's plenty you can do as a for sale by owner that is completely free to give you the best chance to sell. Thus, my next tip is to utilize the free marketing you have at your disposal. Most for sale by owners I see throw their house up on Zillow and call it a day, but there are a few other platforms that you are missing out on if that is all you're doing. Zillow is most important, yes, so make sure you don't skip out on that, but Facebook Marketplace is a criminally underrated platform for marketing homes for sale. With over 800 million monthly shoppers and a savvy algorithm that shows people listings in their regular Facebook feed related to other things they were already shopping for, it is an absolute no-brainer to list your house there. It is completely free. You even have the ability to refresh your listing once a week so it reappears as though you just posted posted it, something which you cannot even do on Zillow. And you can even automatically cross-post your listing onto buy-sell groups you are a part of as well. It is an excellent way to advertise your home, and I get inquiries on my listings frequently by advertising there. You may also look to Craigslist, which has been passed up by marketplaces of late, but still has a strong presence for real estate browsing. Other more niche websites such as forsalebuyowner.com are worth looking into as well, since the wider the net you cast, the more fish you bring in. And if you're one to get lost on metaphors, by fish, I mean potential buyers. Now, if you're getting people in the door, which these things should do, that doesn't mean a whole lot if the house doesn't show well. So you'll need to prepare the house accordingly. Everybody wants more equity out of their house, right? Of course, and the easiest way to make sure that happens is to clean up, declutter, and make the best impression possible for prospective buyers as they look at your home. Trust me, you will get more money out of your house if it is orderly and staged, even if you haven't gotten rid of that ugly carpet yet or your kitchen is a bit dated. If you're trying to do anything to maximize your return on investment when selling by owner, I recommend fresh neutral paint, getting rid of excess furniture to open up the perceived square footage, and stepping up the landscaping for killer curb appeal. Especially with the disadvantage that comes along with not having professional representation, making your house stand out and show well is going to be all the more important when you're selling a buyer on your home versus the comparable homes they are also looking at. Pro tip, if you don't know where to begin or what to focus on prior to showing the home, it might be worth the small investment to have a staging company come in and tell you exactly what needs to be done, which is based on their extensive continuing education on perceived value, maximizing usable space, and appealing to a likely buyer's taste. If you're not up for moving things around or bringing in new things, you can pay a staging company to do it for you, which, in my estimation, is worth it in the grand scheme. Unfortunately, even if your house is beautifully staged and clean, that in and of itself won't sell the house if you're way off on price. So my next tip for sale by owner success is to zero in on pricing. Many for sale by owners choose to list higher than what their home is actually worth, either in hopes to get as much as possible out of the house or because they inaccurately assess the true market value. This is often due to faulty online estimates or bias that we all tend to have about our home. Regardless of the reason, this actually not only hurts the prospect of selling, but often results in getting less for your home than you would have had it been priced right from the beginning. But why is that? Well, when a house is overpriced, people don't tend to offer on it as they don't want to offend the seller with a lowball, or they just avoid looking at it altogether. Eventually, you'll have to reduce the price to get it back down to market value, but even at that point, people see the length of time you have been on the market, wonder if there may be something wrong with the house, ultimately cheapening the perceived value of the house in the eyes of a buyer, even though the price may be correct at that time. So as you can see, avoiding this by nailing the price from the beginning is crucial, especially given the fact that the most interest you will have is right after you list your home. Your best bet to get it right is to ask a trusted real estate agent, such as myself if you're in the Kalamazoo area, to prepare what is known as a comparative market analysis, or CMA for short, which analyzes the market value of your home by comparing it to similar homes that have sold in your neighborhood or vicinity. If you do prefer to do this on your own, be sure you're looking at homes similar to yours in terms of square footage, number of beds, baths, amenities, etc., and make sure they are in your direct area, as the closer they are, the more comparable they are. This should give you an adequate value range by which to base your asking price. And of course, try to do this objectively. As I mentioned before, we all have a penchant to see our houses with a positive bias, so make your best effort to remove that to get towards the true market value of your home. The next tip is to be willing to work with buyer's agents and offer to pay a cooperating commission. Now, I know you probably just had a guttural reaction to me even saying that. Why on earth would you pay an agent's commission if the sole purpose of selling by owner was to avoid commissions in the first place? Let's examine that. For those of you who might not be familiar with how real estate commissions work, here's an example. If a real estate agent were to list your neighbor's home, they would charge a commission, say 6% of the purchase price, which is average, albeit not a standard commission rate. When another agent brings a buyer for the home, they aren't actually paid for their work by the buyer, as you might assume. They actually are paid out of the 6% listing commission charged to the seller, typically receiving half. So in this case, that's 3% to the listing agent and 3% to the buyer's agent. Even if you offered a 3% commission to a buyer's agent, understand that you are still avoiding the other 3% since you're acting as your own agent. So the question you may have now is, why wouldn't I just choose to work with buyers without an agent to avoid paying any commission altogether and maximize my profits? Well, in theory, if you can do that, that would be great. However, limiting your buyer pool to only those without agents will substantially limit your chances of selling by owner. Knowing that buying a home with an agent doesn't cost you extra money, that means the vast majority of home buyers are going to take advantage of professional representation, no matter the circumstances. So removing those buyers out of the equation will eliminate the majority of your prospects. You can, of course, try and negotiate a buyer paying for their own agent, but just understand that a buyer doesn't expect they will have to pay commissions, so that will likely affect their offer or could turn them off from making one to begin with. I know the last thing you wanted to hear from me is encouragement to pay a commission, but I promise it will make things a lot easier for you, and you'll likely attract better offers anyways. Besides, if you really want to sell by owner, I'd surmise that you'd rather pay half of a commission than having to succumb to eventually paying a full commission after you can't get your house sold. If you've faithfully done the aforementioned things and now have found a buyer, then it's imperative to follow this next tip, which is to work with a trusted real estate attorney. They will help draft and oversee paperwork, disclosures, and handle all the other minutia that goes along with the escrow process. I would never recommend handling a real estate transaction on your own, and some states even require an attorney to be involved anyways. In many states, a title company is the party typically responsible for facilitating the closing and providing title insurance, and so most forego an attorney and rely on both them and their agent. But I cannot stress enough, if you're selling for sale by owner, working with the real estate attorney regardless, as it not only serves as protection from the many things that may go wrong during a sale, but also provides you with professional guidance that you won't have absent an agent working at your behest. Additionally, you may hire a realtor such as myself to help you navigate the transaction after you've found a buyer for a reduced commission fee. That way you have someone who can negotiate on your behalf after home inspection, appraisal, etc., and coordinate with all parties to meet important deadlines, saving you time and perhaps money as we put our negotiating strategy to use on your behalf. If you've made it here, you should be well equipped to sell a home for sale by owner. But if you're still teetering on whether it's worth it or not to sell for sale by owner, be sure to reach out if you're here in the Kalamazoo area and I can answer any questions you may have, or refer you to a great listing agent in your area to help you weigh your options. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and let me know you enjoyed it, and drop a comment if you have any further questions that I can answer. If you'd like to keep up with my world of real estate, be sure to follow me over on social media. We have a good time, so I'd love for you to join me. Don't forget to subscribe on the way out, and I'll see y'all next time.